let an is equal to, this is an, this is let an is equal to n plus 2 by n plus 1 whole power 2n plus 3. Determine limit n tends to infinity an. Option A 1, option B e, option C e square, and option D e cube. Now let us convert this, let us convert this to the form limit n tends to infinity 1 plus 1 by n whole power n an, which is nothing but e power a, even is limit n tends to infinity an is n plus 2 by n plus 1 whole power 2n plus 3. So now we can write this as limit n tends to infinity, n plus 2 is written as n plus 1 plus 1, n plus 1 by n plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 will be remaining, 1 by n plus 1. This 2n plus 3 we can write as 2 into n plus 1 plus 1, like that we can write. And this is nothing but limit n tends to infinity 1 plus n plus 1, 1 plus 1 by n plus 1 whole power n plus 1 whole square into 1 plus 1 by n plus 1. So if we expand limits, if n tends to infinity, n plus 1 also tends to infinity. So we can write this as limit n plus 1 tends to infinity 1 plus 1 by n plus 1 whole power n plus 1 whole square 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by n plus 1. So if we expand limits for this one, we'd be getting e square, and as n plus 1 tends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by n plus 1 is nothing but 1. So e square into 1, which is e square. So here correct option is option C.
Consider the pipeline system with 4 pages. Fetch instruction, decode and calculate address, fetch operand, execute instruction. What is the number of clock cycles required to finish the above program? Assume that no measures were taken to avoid pipeline hazards. So these are the instructions: load, add, inc and store. So R1, m of 312 is loaded to R1 again, so that R1 should be added to memory word at 313, and that should be loaded to R2. Then R2 should be incremented, should be loaded into R3. Then R3 should be loaded into m of 314. So now, let us see the clocks required for this. Let us consider the clocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 like this. Okay. So first instruction 1, fetch instruction. Each phase requires one clock cycle only. Fetch instruction, decode and calculate effective address, and then fetch operand, and then execute. By 4th clock cycle it will be finished. Then I2 we can't start fetch, so here we can fetch instruction, decode and calculate effective address. Okay, here we have to wait, because after execution of instruction only we will come to know the R1 value, because R1 value should be added. We have to wait. Then we have to, after decoding, execution, for execution operand is required, so then we have to wait. Okay, so fetch operand, then execute, then I3. Fetch operand is instruction is not possible, then fetch instruction, then decode instruction, fetch operand, and then execute, because this is hazard. Okay, because this R2 value is required for incrementation. Okay, now instruction I4, here we will go for fetch operand is not possible. Fetch instruction, here already operand is fetched, so fetch instruction, decode instruction and calculate effective address, again fetch operand, and then execute, because R3 value should be loaded operand. So at 10th it will be finished. So 10 clock cycles are required. Option D is the right. The following instructions: push R1, add R1, 4, pop R2, move R3, R1, push R2, pop R1. What is the effect of the above instructions on the register R1? So here, so first into the stack R1 is pushed, and add R1 comma 4 means R1 receives R1 plus 4. 4 will be added, results will be there in R1, but stack content R1 is not changed. Pop R2 means into R2 content of memory top of the stack will be taken. Now in the R2 R1 value is there, which is not R1 plus 4, that is separate. Okay, move R3 comma R1. Now R1 value is also transferred to R3. Push R2. Okay, push R2 means again R2 value is pushed into memory. Okay, R2 value is R1 value only. Okay, again pop R1. That means R2 value again taken into R1. So there won't be any difference in the R1 value. So leave it with its original value. D is the right answer here.
Which of the following is false? NP, option A, NP is equal to co-NP if there exists a problem, if there exists problem X such that X is NP complete and its complement is NP. Option B, suppose problem X is NP complete. If X is in P, then NP is equal to P. This is true. Why? Because if some particular problem is NP complete, and if it is in P, we can say that NP is equal to P. Option C, a problem is NP complete if it is NP hard and a P problem. This is false. Why? Because if a problem is NP complete, then there doesn't exist any polynomial algorithm in order to solve that particular problem. So it cannot be a P problem. So option C is false. If we come to option A, NP is equal to co-NP if there exists problem X such that X is NP complete and its complement is in P. Even this is also true. So only option C is false.